what we're going to need for equipment today, you're going to need your foam roller and you're going to need your lacrosse ball. If you only have a 2-barrel lacrosse ball, that can be worked fine as well. But this is what we're going to work with today. And then ideally, if you can have an exercise mat or some sort of cushion for your knee later. Okay? So we're going to start off, we're going to basically work from the ground up. We're going to start at our feet. You can use something to support yourself if you wish when you do this. But basically use our lacrosse ball first. So what I'd like you to do, you're going to place the ball on the bottom of either foot you want to start with. So we're working just below the bridge of the foot. So that musculature just beneath that, so we're working the arch of your foot, and I'd like you to place the ball at the exact midway point. All you're going to do, like I said, you can use the surfaces to support you. What I'd like you to do is you're going to drive your weight into the ball. You're going to roll that ball all the way towards your heel, and then you're going to slowly roll it back. The whole time what we're trying to do is push as much pressure as you can. It should feel quite uncomfortable, especially if you're somebody that walks or runs a lot. We're just going to do 4 times backward and forward. Okay, so we're going to count all together. So this is going to be for number 2. And then we're going back, driving in further, 3, and coming back. And final one, you're going to keep driving as hard as you can to your base of your heel, and then back for 4. You're now going to take this ball, you're going to roll it to the inner arch. So again, if this is the bridge of my foot, we've been working that center channel. We're now going to work the inner channel, directly beneath the ball of your foot. Exactly the same thing. We're going to drive the ball, our weight into the ball, driving it to our heel. So good, and then all the way back to that start point. That's 1, and again together, drive, come back, that's 2, and again keep driving into it. There's 3, 1 more, and then there's 4. Okay, so we're now going to go to our last channel. We're now going to roll the ball to the outer arch. Okay, and again, this might be more problematic for some people. Channel 1 or 2 might be more problematic. It's absolutely fine to have one area tighter than the other. We're going to do the exact same thing now. So driving all the way back for 1, getting to that heel again, coming all the way back. Driving in a bit further. So good, and then coming back. That's 2 complete. Going 3. Good, and then coming back. And then going for number 4. Okay, good. We're just going to change our feet up. We're going to do the exact same thing. Starting on that mid-arch. So we're going to speed things up now we know what to do. So we're going to go for 1. And then back. Go for 2. And then back. Go for 3. And back. And then go for 4. And back. Roll into that second arch. Remember, this is just beneath the ball of the foot. Off we go. Go for 1. And rolling back to the bridge. Go for 2 towards the heel. And then coming back. Go for 3. And back. And go for 4. And back. Rolling to that third area again. So we're now on the outer arch. Off we go towards the heel for 1. And back to the bridge. 2, going for 3, and finally going for 4. Okay, now the last thing we're going to finish on with your feet, you're going to go back to that front foot. Now what I'd like you to do now is roll the ball around your foot and just kind of find those little painful points that you might feel a sense for. So I've got one just beneath the ball of my foot. What I'm going to do now, we're just going to do some simple contract relax. So now you're going to keep on that point. You're going to drive your weight into the ball and then relax off it. Drive your weight into the ball and relax off it. Now, if this is particularly tight for you, spend a good 30 seconds on this. But for now, we're literally just going for 5 contractions. Okay? So we're just going to finish this one off. So going for 3, contract for 4. And then contract for 5. We're going to try and find another trigger point for the video. So I've got another one. This is now on the outer arch for me. Drive in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so you would then do this for your opposing foot, guys. I'm not going to spend too much time on just spending on one foot because everyone's going to be different. If you roll the board around and you have no trigger points, you can skip this phase, but for somebody that, like, let's say you have more sensitive areas than not, spend a good 3 to 5 minutes working this area out. Okay, so we're going to move on. So you're not going to need a cross board anymore. Next, we're going to use our roller, and we're basically going to, like I said, keep working from the ground up. So we're going to place the roller on the ground. You're going to sit on your bum. If you have an indented roller, I'd like you to use the rigid edge for this one. You're going to take the roller so it's at your Achilles tendon, and then you're basically going to overlap your other leg directly on top. Notice I'm bringing my hips off the ground. I'm just working my Achilles tendon for now. So we're going to do 10 rolls going forward and back together, and we're gradually make our way up our leg. Okay, so now number 7, 8, 9, and 10. Placing my left foot on the ground, I'm going to kick the roller up with that same leg. My leg returns, and we're now working our calf. So when we're onto our calf, guys, I want you to start to angle your body so we work all areas. We're going outer, medial, and then inner. If you have one area that's more painful than the others, I suggest you stay in that area. Again, we're going to do 10 rolls total. So this is now 7, 8, 9, and 10. Again, one foot goes down for the base support, the other foot kicks the roller. So we go to our hamstring now. Same deal, placing our leg directly on top of the other leg to add a little bit more pressure. Now, as our hamstrings are a little bit longer than our calves, you're going to need to angle your body a little bit more on this one. So using your shoulders as a bit of an anchor. If you struggle on positioning, change up where your hands are. And obviously if you're taking it after a while and your shoulders start to ache, you can then make sure that you take a rest and then resume in your own time. Okay, when we finish that, again that foot goes down. The roller goes just beneath our hips. So we're going onto our glutes now. You're going to bring this leg over the other, so it's like a bit of a pretzel position. And then we're literally just going to anchor ourselves and work into our glutes. Now, the areas to focus on for your glutes are the top of your glutes and the lateral aspect of them. That's usually where those trigger points are, but everyone's different. So all I tell you is make sure you stay within those painful areas and don't move on to the next area until your tension and or discomfort has subsided. Okay? I won't show you the other leg as we already know what that mobility is. So instead, we're going to go onto the frontal leg. But what you would be doing is, at this stage of time, I would pause the video, go onto your next leg and just repeat the exact sequence I just done. Once you've done the opposing leg, then you would resume onto the lateral and front of the hip. Okay, so the lateral hip, we're going to need our lacrosse ball again. You're going to place the lacrosse ball directly beneath your hip bone. Now your legs, I'd like your lower leg to be extended on the ground. Okay, and then your upper leg, just for now, just keep it nice and relaxed beside you. What you're going to try and do is slide your arm down the mat so you're able to completely lay your torso down on the ground, and then just rest your head on your arm. From this position, if it's already uncomfortable in this position, then all I suggest you do is stay there. But if you need to intensify the stretch, all you're going to do is raise your leg up. Okay, and we're really digging into that TFL. Use your hand to support yourself. And to be honest, guys, all you need to stay here for is anywhere between 30 to 60 seconds, depending upon your comfort levels. Okay, so you'd stay there for however long you need to. You then take the ball away. We go from our TFL onto our IT band. Now again, if you're a runner, this area can get quite tight. I'm just going to show you where I'd like you to break it down, but I'd like you to spend as much time as you personally need to on this area. So you're going to start off on your side. So I think the best method of doing this is if you kneel beside the roller, bring yourself over the roller, okay, and then go into that side plank position. Now use your top leg to anchor yourself, and you're going to basically work between a 4 to 6 centimeter spacing, and you're just going to anchor yourself in those areas. You're starting at the very bottom of your IT band, and then you're going to pretty much just work your way up until your hip bone. So again, you are spending whatever time you need to on each area until you gradually work your way up all the way to the top of your hip. Okay? From there, guys, we're going to go onto the front of our legs. Now in this position, same purpose. I'd like you to kneel directly in front of the roller. Bring yourself into a plank position. Now for this one, we're just going to work both legs at the same time. Okay, so we're sticking with that 4 to 6 centimeter ruling. You actually use your elbows as your anchor for this one. You can cross your feet over if you wish. So all I'm going to do, working that 4 to 6 centimeters, driving my weight into the roller, and I'm anchoring myself with my elbows. Now because we are completely off the ground, you need to make a conscious effort to ensure that your trunk is tight. So pull your belly button into your spine. All you're going to do this, guys, you're gradually going to work your way further up your quadriceps until you reach the very top of where your hips are. Again, everyone's going to be different with how tight and tender they are. Spend as long as you can or as you need to on each area. At the same time, if you need to intensify the stretch, you can go one single leg at a time. And all that would look like is you would have the roller centered to one quadricep, okay, and then you would have one leg on the roller, and you bring one leg completely off the ground, pressing against the back of the other leg. That would apply more pressure for that area for you, okay? We're now going to finish with the front of the hips. Again, you're going to need your cross ball for this one. The placing of this, I'm going to show you before I lay on the ground because you won't be able to see it. You're going to go find your hip bone, so find the crest of your hip bone, and all I want you guys to do is grip into the front of your hip. And that is the placement of where your cross ball is going to go, okay? So once you find that crest of your hip, go just inside, and then place that ball just inside of your hip bone. Hold it there. Then bring yourself down onto the ground. You should already start to feel quite uncomfortable. Now some people, just laying in this upright position is enough. Some people find they like to intensify the stretch by extending themselves onto the ground. Now you can make yourself comfortable by sinking your forehead down. You can also make a rest for your chin. And you're just gonna, if it's enough and it's painful, you can just rest in this area. If you'd like to intensify, all you need to do is slowly bring your heel towards your bum and then slowly bringing it back down. You're going to spend about anywhere between 10 to 30 seconds depending on your tightness, and you're basically going to work that ball directly up towards your belly button. Your finish point is going to be directly beside your belly button. So same. Repeat what I just done, lay yourself down and just allow your body to sink into the ball, and we're just going to keep working all the way up until we finish directly in line with our belly button. You should be basically about an inch away from your belly button when you finish. Okay, so that's just some simple trigger point work for you guys to work with. This is really good if you are specifically running a lot, or if you're sat down on your desk job for a while, especially when our hamstrings become quite lax sat in the chair. You'll find that a lot of your lower back tightness actually resides from your hips. So this full routine is really good to do in the morning, in the evening, or even if you've got some time whilst you're at work and you have the ability to do it. Cool, that's all we need to do, guys. Awesome, take it easy.